Dr. Jeffrey Swisher, chairman of the Department of Anesthesiology at California Pacific Medical Center. Dr. Swisher, thanks so much for joining us. So we're still awaiting what the results of these toxicology reports are. We heard possibly cocaine. There's a lot of people who've been focusing on the possibility of fentanyl because these three appear to have just walked outside. One was found sitting in a lawn chair. How quickly would a fentanyl overdose happen in a person?
Well, fentanyl is one of those medications which gets a lot of news because, unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation about fentanyl and how it's used and how it's ingested. Unfortunately, a lot of substances that are bought on the street are contaminated with fentanyl, either purposefully or not purposefully, and people don't know that they're taking it. Fentanyl is a narcotic. It's a short-acting, very potent narcotic. It's much more potent than morphine or heroin is. Fentanyl, depending on the route by which it's ingested, can work immediately, or if it's ingested orally, it can take a longer time to take effect.
Right.
So we're speculating as to whether fentanyl is in there or not, but you don't have to have fentanyl. It could have been, like, you hear polysubstance abuse, and if you look at Heath Ledger, or you look at Matthew Perry or Whitney Houston or Tom Petty or Prince, all these people were engaging in polysubstance abuse. And
polysubstance meaning they were taking a lot of things. There wasn't just
correct.
One thing found in their system.
Exactly. Ativan, Ambien, cocaine.
Ketamine.
Ketamine, in the case of Matt Perry, exactly. Just keep in mind that even though they said that the cause of death of Matthew Perry was ketamine, Matthew Perry fell asleep in a hot tub because of ketamine and he drowned.
Right.
Not that the ketamine is what killed him, but it was the proximate cause of his death.
So that leads me to this question. The fourth man who was renting the house, named Jordan Willis, says he spent 2 days sleeping on the couch. He has now reportedly checked himself into rehab, saying that this whole experience has been a, quote, wake-up call. Could he also have been suffering from the same effects of whatever drug or drugs the three victims who died took? They just happened to be outside when they succumbed, and he was fortunate enough to be inside and not in freezing cold?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, unfortunately, these medications are essentially anesthetics. It's what I do for a living. I mean, you give people enough anesthetics and they'll fall asleep. And these drugs are additive in their effect. And so, again, similar to Matthew Perry, he didn't die necessarily because of the ketamine. He died because he drowned in a hot tub. These men died because they fell asleep in sub-zero temperatures and they developed hypothermia and froze to death. So that's the cause of death is hypothermia, but as a result of intoxication with multi-substances, which cause them to stop breathing, fall asleep, essentially.
The whole group had been partying and watching the football game together leading up to this. Neighbors say they saw the men going into the house with 2 30-packs of beer. Could alcohol also have played a role in all this?
Absolutely. I mean, alcohol alone could have played a role in this. If you drink enough, you will fall asleep. And so it's just intoxication to the extent where you pass out, and you do that in, again, sub-zero temperatures. I'm sure that's happened, many times in history. Fishermen or people out in the cold fall asleep from drinking too much and then develop hypothermia. It doesn't take long to die from hypothermia.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately the case.
Bottom line, in many of these cases, a drug or alcohol and drugs or alcohol alone may have caused them to fall asleep or pass out, but it's the cold that killed them.
Yeah, the cold that killed them. And, exposure and hypothermia, again, as you develop hypothermia, your respiratory rate decreases, your metabolic rate decreases, and eventually you will have a cardiac arrest from, hypoxia and not breathing.
I assume this is why we haven't gotten the autopsy report yet, then, that toxicology is in, but the autopsy is not?
Right. Toxicology, they say it takes 6 to 8 weeks, but, if you have a good sample of blood, or sometimes they take fluid from the vitreous of the eye, depending, wherever it comes from, this can be done almost immediately. It's a gas chromatography, or there's other laboratory tests. Autopsies are a physical examination of the body, and it takes not a pathologist a period of time to do it. And they want to be complete.
Okay. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.